a lot of people don't know, the ADC, the design part of the show, literally is like 103 years old, and it's awarded like legends, and it's hard to believe, but people like Andy Warhol, Norman Rockwell, and Salvador Dali actually submitted their work to try to win. We need to figure out the specifics, but they definitely won awards.
All right, we need to dig into the Salvador Dali files and find out if he really won an ADC award. That's a separate video. Well, actually, this is now the lead-in to that video. Let's go there. I'm Glenn Cole, co-founder of 72 and Sunny. I'm here with Robert Wong, my fellow longtime board member at the One Club for Creativity and co-founder of Google Creative Labs. What's up?
What's up?
Have you been part of any of the juries?
Yes, I was doing the ADC judging of packaging and product design in New York.
Any takeaways from that? What stuck with you?
Well, it's the first time board members are in the room, not as jury, but as a way to sort of uphold what it means to win a One Club award, and sort of help jury presidents. And I thought it was really cool. I mean, it's very different from judging. It's impossible to try to not have your opinions, because literally that's all we ever do is have opinions about shit. But it'll take getting used to. But it was great just to meet all the judges from around the world, get to know them and see how they think. Listen to conversations was awesome. And you've all been in the room, listen to conversations, but you always had skin in the game, whereas this time you don't. So it's a different way of hearing people's opinions, and I thought it was very enlightening. And I'm sure I've talked to a bunch of other board members about it, their experience in this new approach, and they all seem to love it. And it's great to meet new people.
So far, so good.
Same
Reports from down here in DR. Everybody's really enjoying the board members are enjoying being sort of an available guide, and the jury chairs, which is also the first time we've done that. Jury chairs are, I think, leading the conversations as good as you could possibly ask anyone to. And I know we both care about integrity. That's one of the things we pride ourselves on with the One Show, above, or we like to believe above any other show out there, the highest integrity show. So it feels like we're still living up to the value.
Yeah.
When you guys are doing your stuff at Google, we all sort of imagine you're architecting some future 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Radical new technology that nobody else has access to, all the bat toys. How are you applying creativity in that job and in that ecosystem?
There's multiple parts of the answer.
Okay.
I think one part of creativity, I think, is not necessarily the making of the thing, but like really understanding how humans feel and react to the thing. And I think that's the thing that we add the most value to the Google, because you have brilliant engineers, rocket scientists, literally, quantum computing experts. You have like insane business, McKinsey brains. But I think that instinct of, well, this is how someone will feel, that's the creativity, juice that we pull into and create, add value to the Google formula. So that's how I define creativity. Not so much because everyone's creative, right? Everyone's inventing. Engineers are inventing things. Business people are coming up with new places to go with the technology. So I feel like from the creative perspective, I think we bring the humanity into it, and that's the biggest contribution that we can make.
Outside of Google, the acronym of the moment, AI.
Yes.
And in creative cultures, in 72 and Sunny's creative culture, and other agencies, it seems like it's being met with more enthusiasm and excitement than fear anymore.
Yeah.
It does kind of still feel like we don't even know the questions to ask it yet. It's a lot of like, can this help me search better?
Yeah.
I'm imagining inside Google, you're a few steps ahead of everybody. Like, how is it being used or thought of there?
You know what? I think in Google, but also outside, I think everyone is like tinkering really crazy at it, because it is really exciting. It reminds me of like the early internet days. No, seriously.
The AI banner ads.
Well, it's funny you should say that though. Like I remember the one club, and Kevin in particular. Years ago before he was president, he was the first one to say, "Hey, we need an interactive show." And back then, it was literally banners. But but it was the very first show for creativity that was interactive, and it went from banners to like, where we are today. It's insane. So I think he's always been, and one club has always been in the forefront, and I think it's going to be the same for us. I think that we're kind of at the banner stage of AI right now.
Where do you see the potential?
I don't think I can imagine it, to be honest.
Okay.
And I think what I'm most excited about is being surprised at what other people come up with. Yeah. And we're trying to do that too. We're trying to come up with stuff like, when an LLM, like think about product design, for instance. Most people think about a product very consciously, and they design the product, they build the product, they code the product. Well, what if the product was the LLM and it starts from the LLM? Like, what if it doesn't start with a UI? What if it doesn't start even with the purpose of what happens? Like, and that's the kind of stuff we're interrogating. Like, what's the best interface? And it's not a chat interface. Like, that's all we know. That's historic. But like, we don't even know what the interface should be when an LLM becomes a product and gets shaped to be whatever, you want it to be, or whatever, and it presents back out the best way that you want the content that you need. Right. So I think that's the part that's like really exciting, and it will design itself. That's a crazy thing.
I believe it'll be people find their way to making it a creative tool for their creative ideas, to enhance their creative ideas. But I'm fascinated by in my career and life, my observation is that creative people really value ownership. That was our idea, my idea. The thrill is I connected two things in a surprising way that I haven't seen before. No one has seen before. And I also perceive some of the threat of AI, or the perceived threat is the ownership. It will make it, not me. So I'm curious where you maybe see like that value of, or where creative people are kind of driven by this quest for ownership.
Well, I don't know if you've ever come across like generative artists, right? Like, so they would scope out, because I think it's fascinating. Like, I agree that a lot of, especially craft people, they want to craft this perfectly.
Exactly.
Right? But in the last, I'd say 15 years or so, I think there's a lot of creatives who are coming with generative art or generative creative stuff where you kind of, design the program and you set some parameters and it generates stuff, but it's in the context of your thing. So
you are on a quest for something. You have an idea of something
it's
to
still
make.
part of you.
So I have a 17-year-old, and he's tinkering with anything that's free on AI.
Yep.
Not necessarily on a quest to design but it is creation. So his latest was he's using ChatGPT to create to get his March Madness bracket sorted out, and he gave it these parameters. He put like certain risk in, how many upsets. He based it on some historical. He's like, you can never have 4 number ones in the final four, and so I observed his conversation with it, and it was my first big aha, because he got real frustrated at one point because it put like it advanced 2 teams that by the bracket could not both advance. Right. And so his response to the thing in type was like, "Bro, how could that can't happen. You can't do that. Do it again." And I was like, "Wow, you're kind of like hardcore on your AI, buddy." And then it replied very politely, like, "Apologies. I'm so sorry. I screwed that up. You're right. Kentucky could never be in the same bracket." And that was my squint and see someone who's going to be in the workforce in 5 years. I was like, "Oh, it's just it's a resource." I was going to call it a tool, but it's just a resource. This thing that he's just like, you make it do what you want. If it doesn't do what you want, you can like talk to it normal. And that was a real eye opener for me.
And humans, we anthropomorphize everything, right? And the very best computer interface is a human. The best interface ever is another human. So I think computers, the more we do this, and that's why people are excited about AI, because AI would be the very best computer interface. And he's having those reactions, and the computer is like reacting that way. And so over time, what it's going to do is, I think, raise the ceiling that no one needs to be a coder anymore. They'll just be able to like, help, tell the AI to create an app to do this and that, and just talk to it and describe it. But to your point, like it would be the human's idea, and the AI can help execute it.
Yeah, whether creative or not.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing for you.
Yeah.
Is there, again, back to Google and sort of thinking expansively and far out ahead, do you see, as creative jobs are expanding and more people identify as having a job that's in creativity, do you see more formal roles for creative jobs in government, in cities? Like, could there be like a chief design officer of United States of America at some point?
Yes, yes.
We should have that, right?
Absolutely.
It's a design. It's a system. It's an experience.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, and I think that right now the defined creative jobs are. It's a tiny universe.
They're
and
so
very
narrow
to where creativity can and will go, in my mind. Yeah. I think under the Obama administration, the White House had its first CTO. And then, basically every state, every city has its own CTO. And there's no reason why in the future there's not someone in the White House that's a chief creative officer, chief design officer.
Every city should have a CCO.
Every city, and even think about companies right now. There's a CCO in every creative agency, but there's not a CCO in every company. And every company, and it's just like every other ingredient, right? Like technology, business, whatever. Like every company will benefit from a creative voice.
The ones that do have a CCO tend to be the most dynamic brands. Look it up.
Apple, yes, absolutely. Target, yeah, they're very
Nike.
Dynamic, very successful. It creates real value. Whether it's like, meaning, joy, better experiences, more compelling stories, more differentiated products. So I think every part of society will benefit from education to government to businesses to institutions from like creative leadership.
Creatives run the world. Core. That's what we're trying to do with the One Club.
You know what? At least share the running of the world.
I don't. Sometimes we're good at sharing. You do got to collaborate to make some of the bigger stuff. So yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
But,
well, I have this story. You hear about the one about the engineer, the artist, and the business person at a bar. Did I ever tell you this one?
Oh, here we go.
Okay, here we go. So they're sitting there. They're always at a bar having a drink. And the business person says, "You know what would be a great idea if you built a road from our town to that other town. It'd be we'll get like commerce flowing. It'd be really good for the economy for both our cities." And the engineer goes, "That's a great idea. Let's build a highway, a straight 4-lane highway, so it's like the shortest distance, fast, and it'll be safe." And the artist in the room was like, "That's cool, but you know what? Maybe we should build a highway straight to the coast, and then hug the highway along the coast to the other town, so it's for all of eternity. People will love the drive." And they're like, "That's a great idea." And of course, it's a beautiful drive, and there's a lot of success. And the business goes, "You know what? We could probably charge toll." And the technology guy says, "You know what? We could probably put an easy pass so you don't have to stop." But the point is, when three people with very different skill sets combine and they leverage each other, like amazing things will happen. And I think the flywheel of creativity, technology, and business hasn't really been built in as efficient as a round system as it can be. So that's what I'm excited about.
That's that, dude. That's what we're looking for one of these. That kind of thinking, dude.
All right.
Amazing.